Welcome back to the channel. This is the IPP Education Hub. If you are struggling with ED and considering an IPP, or if you are partnering somebody who is going through their IPP journey and you have questions on what to expect, then you've come to the right place. In this video, I want to talk about a question that I am often asked in regards to how old does someone need to be to get an IPP? In a lot of cases, many people think that erectile dysfunction or the potential to need an implant is something that is only intended for men who are older. But the truth is that ED doesn't care how old you are. But the good news is neither do the treatment options. I am living proof. I am young, sort of. I am fit, sort of. And yet I was struggling with ED for a lot of my life. And at the end of the day, I wish someone would have told me about the IPP way sooner. Now, I've shared on this channel before that I started experiencing elements of ED very early on in my life, and it was really confusing to me. I was an athlete. I'm in good shape. I felt like there was nothing that truly really represented that, wow, this guy might have some sort of issue going on with his ability to maintain or sustain an erection. And when I brought this up to my medical professionals early on, I was often dismissed with a lot of those responses of, you're too young, you're too active, it's all in your mind, whatever their responses were. And it was those sort of responses that led me to not get the help that I needed for way longer than I did need. And I also was willing to take on things throughout that process that I probably shouldn't have. In previous videos, I've talked about some of the supplements that I tried when I was experiencing ED and how those affected my body in the moment. Needless to say, I'm really thankful that I no longer have to take those supplements, and my body feels much better knowing that I don't have to have those in my system. Now, to circle back to what I said earlier, it's important to remember that ED does not have any sort of required age limit. Since getting my implant, I have talked to many men of all ages who have been experiencing various levels of ED. For some older men, it was an onset issue that they noticed. And for some younger men, it's something that maybe they've been experiencing their entire life, or maybe some sort of injury has resulted in them not being able to get the erections that they desire. But at the end of the day, what I've come to learn since speaking with a lot of these men is that the list is somewhat exhaustive when it comes to the reasons that some men are experiencing ED. And just like those reasons vary, so does the age of the men that I'm communicating with. And that really opened my eyes to let me know that ED is not something that just sets on at a later stage of life. I think one of the concerns for younger men is that oftentimes talking about ED can feel a bit taboo, especially if you're not dealing with any other people in your circle who are communicating about it. However, the more we share, the more we normalize this. And I'm hoping that resources like this channel provide information to let people know if you're struggling with ED, then there are solutions out there, and maybe more than just the mainstream solutions that you see on TV commercials or hear on the radio. And so from my personal experience, just the one message that I want so badly to be heard is that there is no age requirement to possibly needing an IPP. If you are struggling with erectile dysfunction and you are unable to get an erection, or if you are unable to sustain an erection for the length of time that you are being intimate, then it's important that you speak with a medical professional who can help you. And if you meet with a medical professional that doesn't give you the answers that you're looking for, then it's important not to be discouraged by that. Consider contacting specifically a urologist. That was a big issue for me. I was going to primary care physicians for a while, and none of them really had the solutions. But the second that I went to a urologist, I felt like the conversation was able to pick up pace much more, and I was able to get the solutions I was looking for. At the end of the day, I wish I would have known what my options were much earlier. I think about how much my ED affected my life. It also affected the life of the people that I was intimate with, right? Because it's easy to understand that if they weren't having the experiences that they were looking for, then that can create a tailspin of emotions on either side. And so while I try my hardest to not look in the rear view too much, at the end of the day, it's certainly something that I think about every single time that I use my IPP, because I often find myself thinking, this thing is great. I wish I wouldn't have waited so long to consider this as a solution. You deserve to feel well, you deserve to feel whole, and you deserve to feel complete, and that you can rely on your body no matter what age you are. So if you are struggling with ED and you've tried pills, you've tried injections, but maybe you're at an age where you think, there's no way that I could need an IPP at this young of an age, it might be worth considering. For myself, I know that my IPP has allowed for a lot of resolve. I feel more confident, I feel more calm, I feel that there is more spontaneity in my life, and I am less distracted by a lot of the things that might otherwise come up. And therefore, I know that I am incredibly satisfied. And at the end of the day, it didn't matter what age I would be satisfied with this implant, no matter how old I am. So if you're somebody who's wondering, is there a specific age requirement to get an IPP? I hope that this video lets you know that there isn't, and that there are men of all ages who currently have an IPP. And so if you're somebody who thinks that you might need one, I would definitely advocate for you to consider whether or not that's a solution for you. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to this channel and turn on those notifications so that you are in the loop every single time we release a new video here on the IPP Education Hub. Thank you for watching, and as always, be kind to yourself and be kind to others.